Okay, can everyone see my desktop? Okay, great. So this is the new GeniuXs AI section that's going to be part of GeniuX. It's going to be under the GeniuX menu, and there's going to be multiple AIs that can handle different things. So this is an LFMTE site. There's an LFM AI that can answer questions about your members, about your membership levels, about your sales packages, about your sales. For example, you could ask, has a specific member purchased this plugin? Is something that we could ask the AI, and it could look that up and it could tell you. Let me switch over and let's see. So here is where you would ask the AI wherever you want it to find. And down here, you can see just a few examples of some of the many things that it can do. So you could ask it about your sales packages. You could ask it how much a member has purchased in the last 30 days. You can ask which products generated the most revenue in the past month. You can see month-by-month sales for specific products. You can ask who has a lifetime upgrade. You can ask it for leaderboard information. You could ask who the top referrers were before whatever date that you entered between February 1st and February 28th. You can ask it, you can think of more creative questions that you might not be able to find just by looking through your members. For example, you could ask it something like, which of your affiliates have the highest percentage of referrals who have never logged into their account? So this could help you find maybe some cheaters who are creating accounts or have a bot that's creating accounts that are never logging in. And you can ask it questions like that. You can see the year over year of your sales monthly since a certain time. You could ask it specific questions about your sales. For example, you could ask it, did subscriptions or non-subscription products generate more revenue in 2022? And things like that can help you see which products are the most profitable for you. Are you making more money from monthly upgrades, or are you making more money from lifetime upgrades and things like that? But let me just do a demo. I'm going to ask it this first question. I'm going to say, list all of my sales packages. For each one, show the sales package ID, the name of the sales package, 2022 revenue, 2023 revenue, total lifetime revenue, and the last date that somebody purchased that sales package. So this is the kind of complex question I'm giving the AI. So I want a bunch of information about my sales packages. And these are things I just can't find throughout the script. You can find summaries, you can find a list of transactions, but you can't find um, revenue for a specific year and have it compare the two, things like that. But the AI can do that for you. It can gather all of that information and then present it to you. So let me just show you how it works. I'm just going to go ahead and copy paste this question the way that it is. And I'm going to give it to the AI. And I'm going to ask the question. And now it's doing a lot of stuff in the background. It's going through your database. It's trying to understand your question. It's putting all of the information together. So depending on your complex or how complex your request is, it might take a minute or two for the AI to come back with these results. But so that's what it's working on now. And there might be a few bumps today just because I've been working with the server earlier today and moving some stuff over to another server. So there's any connection issues or anything, It's probably due to that, but I know Todd said that they were um, fixing the issue with the main server, and that should be resolved today if it's not already been resolved. But so the AI is working on that. Okay, there it is. So first, in this gray box, it will provide a summary of what you asked. Here, it basically just listed exactly what I asked it for, but it will provide some information. But if you scroll down past the summary, you see that puts what you asked into a table. So here you can see exactly what I asked for, the sales packages, the revenue, lifetime revenue, the last time somebody purchased, the date, and then you can search for here. And you can sort it by all of these columns. So you can sort it by each one. You can sort by the last purchase date. And you can even export this data to Excel or as a PDF by clicking these columns up here. So this is really useful. And then you can make a follow-up request. So you could say, show only the products that have had sales since January 1st, 2023, things like that. So if it's specifically related to what you just asked, you could do a follow-up here. If you want to talk about something new, you could go down here and then you can make a new request. Yeah, so this table is really powerful. So you can search, you can sort, you can add and hide new columns. So for example, if you wanted to hide total revenue or revenue for a certain year, you can add and remove the columns here. You can copy it to a clipboard, and then you can save it as an Excel file or a PDF file. Let me show you one of the other AIs that we have, which is the Page Editor AI. So what the Page Editor AI does is this allows you to update your templates, your content pages. It can help you write content. It can help you with the HTML. It can do a lot of different things. So for example, I could say change the color of the first heading to red on the sales page. So I'm just going to take that exact example here. So let's say on my sales page I have a headline at the top, and let's say that the color is blue and I wanted to change it to red. I could just say exactly what I want it to do. I could say change the color on the sales page. And I'm just going to submit that. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to show you the new version and the old version. So you can see this is just a test site. This is the standard LFMTE template. So you can see the new version, the headline is red. And then in the old version, you can see it's the default, which is black. So if I'm happy with the changes, all I have to do is click this button right here to save it. And that's it. So I don't have to edit the HTML. I don't have to learn CSS. I just ask it exactly what I want it to do, and the AI will go and it'll edit the HTML for me. But let me show you something really cool. So I could ask you a question. I could say, provide a summary of the sales page and describe some ways it could be improved. So I'm just going to give the AI this here. Right now what it's doing is it's accessing my sales page. It's going through the database. It's processing my request. It's reviewing the text, and it's generating this. So here it provides a summary of my sales page. So this is a sales page designed to promote the benefits of using the advertising service provided by, and it says site name because this is just a test site. And then here it provides a summary. So it says, you can see it repeats my headline. It says it features an image of the world and a headline emphasizing the availability of free traffic. So you can see it breaks down each section, and it says overall the sales page effectively communicates the value proposition of the advertising service and encourages users to sign up for free. To improve the sales page, here's some suggestions. So it recommends doing some high quality images or videos that are relevant to the advertising service. Recommends adding icons and graphics. It encourages I add testimonials, and yeah, it goes through and just provides a list of suggestions that can make your sales page better. Now this is just a test site, so it just did a review of a very basic, just did a basic review of the template, or the one that comes with the script. But when you run this on your actual site, it will go through your sales page. So if you have more specific stuff about your product, it can give you a list of bullet points if you want it to. And then if you want it to make those changes, you could just ask it to. You could say, okay, go ahead and add some bullet points, or go ahead and rephrase this paragraph to make it worded better. So it will make those updates for you. Yeah, so you can see that this is a really useful feature that can make your site better, and when you're ready to make those changes, it can do everything for you, so you don't have to edit the HTML or anything like that. Let me do one other thing. Let me go. I am going to go to here. Go to.
While he's doing that, people, just remember a number of times that you've changed your sales page, rewrote the HTML using the HTML editor, and it's screwed up, and you've got to go back and find out what it was you screwed up. This thing rewrites the HTML in proper HTML code, okay? And it will check the HTML of your existing sales page, and if there's code on there that is not up to date, it will up to date that code for you. I tell you what, when I saw this is, excuse my French, this is fucking Outstanding. Because you don't need, like I said, you don't need an HTML editor. You don't even need to go and ask somebody or pay somebody to do this stuff for you. I'm telling you, this is the future. Sorry, Josh. Carry on, man.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm just getting, I'm going to show you something else that it can do. So I'm going to say in the first section of the sales page, replace the image with a video. Here is the code, the video. And what I did is I went to Monkey Player and I just got the code for one of my videos. But I'm just going to show you this. This is just an example of just some of the many things that it can do. It can go ahead and submit this.
I mean, eventually this thing will be able to rewrite your login offers, everything. This login offer is not converting. Can you rewrite it? And it'll rewrite the login offer. I mean,
Yep.
those are the sorts of things that eventually this thing is going to be able to do.
And here you can see it did it. So in the old one, it had this image of the world here in the first section. In the updated version, it took my Monkey Player code for this video, for this introduction to landing page monkey, and it put it right here where the image was. And I just save this. And so here you can see before, you can see I'll click save, and then after, here's the video. Now, if your video is on YouTube, you could tell it that. You could say the video is on YouTube. Here's the link to the YouTube, and you just give it the YouTube URL. It'll get that video, and it'll embed it into your sales page. So yeah, I think this is definitely, right now we're still kind of tweaking it and things like that, but you can see that this is the vision that we have going forward, where you don't have to go in and deal with the coding or the CSS or the HTML. If you want to make a change to your site, you just go to the AI and you tell it what you want it to change, and it will do it for you. You just say step by step, this is what I want. I want to use an image. Here's the URL to the image, and it'll go and it'll put that in for you. Now, if you have an older site, here's one of the other things that it can do. Let's see, I may have already done this while testing it, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to just take a look at my, okay, no, it hasn't. So this is my frequently asked questions page. And you can see, if you're a little familiar with HTML, you can see that this is quite a mess. This is an older template that we included with the original version of the script almost, let's see, 15 years ago, and it was in a editor, so it's just got a whole bunch of extra tags here and stuff like that. But I'm going to say rewrite the HTML for my, and then you can see the title is main facts. So for my main facts page, so that it is more compliant with modern web standards. Okay, so you can see that it's kept the text, so you can see it's got the same text, but you can see even without looking at the code, you can see right away that the new version looks a lot nicer. It's got a nice modern headline, and just the layout fits the width of the page, whereas with the old one, it was kind of centered and just doesn't look good. So you can see already right away that it's kept all of my text intact, so it hasn't messed up my page at all, but it just looks a lot nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. But for those who are familiar with HTML, let's see, there it is. I'm just going to reload it. And you can see, just probably even if you're not that familiar with HTML, you can see that looks so much better now. It's got modern, it uses modern elements to put in the headlines. It's taken out all of that old extra font coding and stuff like that, so it's cleaned it up. It's made it compliant with modern web standards. It's made it just a lot. It's made the coding a lot better. So those are the other types of things that the AI can do. The page editor AI. If you have a bunch of old templates, if you have, let's say maybe you have some PLR that you've turned into some content and you've turned it into content pages, but it's just really old coding. It's got old tables. It's not mobile friendly. It's not working with your new theme and stuff like that. You can tell the AI, make this code more mobile friendly. Make it compliant with modern web standards. Just give it the title of your template or your content page. Say, this is what I want to edit. This is what I want you to do. I want you to, change the text or improve the HTML, whatever you want it to do, and the AI will do that for you. So these are just a few examples of what you're going to be able to do with it. And now also I want to show you, well, before I do that, let me tell you one of the biggest features that we've managed to add to this is we're giving developers the ability to create their own AIs within LFM through something called the AI Creator. So this allows you, if you go to AI Creator, right here, the first option you see in this blue box is if you have a developer or if you've created your own AI on one of your other LFM sites, this is where you can go to install it. So it'll give you a AI file that you can download when you create your AI. And then if, let's say you're a developer and you're creating an AI for your customers, let's say that you've developed a game. Let's say that you're selling a game for LFMTE and you want to create an AI that goes along with it. So that way, if the people who are using your game want to see a list of winners or things like that, or see what the prizes are and things like that, you could develop an AI for your game that owners can then have in their admin panel. And then you would create the file and then you tell your customers, all right, just go into your AI creator, upload the file, and that will add your AI. And if you're interested in developing your own AIs using this system, it's just a 5-step process, which I'll go over briefly. But basically, first, you just select which parts of the database you want the AI to have access to. So if you are developing it for a game, you might want to give it access to the winners list so you can see who won the game and things like that. You would just enter some descriptions. So you would let the AI know what the table is, what the columns are, And I'll show you just a quick example of that in a minute. And then you'd set any database relationships, and then you would train the AI. So creating an AI is quite different from the traditional way that software is normally programmed. Normally, with like old software, you'd write the code, and then the software would do exactly what the code does. Working with AI is a lot more like working with a person that you're hiring to work in your admin panel. So you would actually explain what things are, and then you would give it some training. You would give it some examples. Um, so AIs learn a lot the way that people do. So let's say that the descriptions and everything, let's say that a person is taking a math class. So the descriptions is like teaching it how to do certain things. So like teaching it equations and uh, how to solve certain problems. The stuff in the textbook, that's like your descriptions. The training is like if you give somebody homework with practice problems so they can do those practice problems over and over again until they get better and better at it. That's the way that you would train an AI so it gets better at answering the types of questions that your users are going to be asking it. But now what we've done is we've used our own AI creator to create an AI for LFMTE. So the LFMTE AI, you can see it looks a lot the same way as the other two that were built into the script, the LFM AI and the page editor AI, where the user can ask it a question, and then you can see an example of things that you can ask it. So for example, you could ask it something like, which text ad has the best click-through ratio? And then it gives you the answer. The text ad with the best click-through rate is ad number 2. And the text is get a splash of traffic, and the target is trafficsplash.com. It's received 1 click and 7 impressions, resulting in a CTR of 14%. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to creator mode. So if I wanted to create this LFMTE AI, I would do it inside creator mode. So you can see first you provide some basic information. So you give your AI a name. In this case, it's the LFMTE AI. And now this description right here, this is for the AI to understand what it's doing. So what it's working with is a database for a traffic exchange website. If you were creating an AI for a game, you would explain, this is the database for a card game or a hangman game. And then user info, this is what your users see. So it's this description right here. So this is what users see. So here, this is kind of just the basic description, but here for the page editor, you can see that I've added some more detail, like just a description of what the AI can do, and if you have any recommendations on things that your users should do. So for example, for the page editor, I explained that if you want the AI to add a video to or an image to your site, make sure you give it the URL of the content you want to add. So if you want to give any special descriptions and stuff like that, you would put it in the user info. So after you set these 3 things, so the next step is you want to select the tables and columns of your database that you want the AI to have access to. Now, if you're just creating an AI to use on your own site, you can just select pretty much wherever you want. But if you're developing an AI that you want to sell to other users or include with, let's say, a mod or a game that you're developing, just keep in mind, and I've added this in the, all of this is in the information up here, but just keep in mind that any tables or columns you select here will have to be in the database of your users who are going to be using this AI, because otherwise the AI is going to be looking for information that doesn't exist. So you want to make sure that all of your end users are going to have this. But so here you would just go through and you would just select what you want. So this is for the LFMTE AI. So I wanted to be able to look up member banners. So one of the columns I've selected is member banners, and I wanted to see, you know, the ID, the state, which is whether it's active or paused or suspended, the user ID, and then the image URL, the target URL, how many impressions are assigned, how many hits and clicks it's gotten. So basically just, this is what you're setting, what you want your AI to be able to search for. So you want it to look for member information. If you're developing an AI to look at your sales information, you would select your sales table and stuff like that. And there is a shortcut button up here. So if you click this, this automatically pre-fills the selections and the descriptions for looking up basic member information. So this selects things like a member's name, their email address. So this gives your AI a foundation of being able to look up member information. Now this is useful because you would probably want to tie that into whatever you want your AI to do. So if you are developing a game, you might want to say which users have won the game most last week. You might ask us something like that. Now, if you give it this ability to look up the basic member information, it will be able to look that up, and then it will be able to tell you Sonny Suggs won the game, is the member who won the game the most time last week, and things like that. So it'll be able to look up members' name, information, email, and stuff like that. The descriptions, this is where, so after you've selected this, just make sure you save it, and I'll show you what I mean. So whenever you select something here or deselect it, whenever you make any changes, there will be a save button that appears automatically. So you just after you're done selecting everything that you want the AI to have access to, just click this green save button. It will say your changes have been saved. You can click this to go right back to the top of the page. Just save you a little bit of time so you don't have to scroll all the way up. And then you go to your descriptions, and here you fill in a description for everything that you selected. Now, if it's something really obvious, like in the OTO members table, something like first name, last name, the AI is pretty good at understanding what stuff like that is. So it'll know that if you have a list of users, so you can see that's why some of these are blank, because the AI already knows what a first name is, a last name, and an email. But you can see, like under banner ads, I added some more specific information. This is a list of banner ads in the exchange. And then you can see for state, I explained what the different states would be. So for those of you who have worked in the database, you know that 0 means that the ad is pending, 1 means it's enabled, 2 means it's paused, 3 means it's suspended, and so on. And then the relationships is where, again, everything, it goes into more detail at the top of each step. So it says exactly what you're doing, but this just helps you match the information in different tables so the AI knows what it's looking for. So for example, the member ID column in the banners table matches the ID table in the members table. So you can select all of these. And then the training is where you give it some examples of what you want the AI to be able to handle. Now the AI is pretty good at figuring a lot of stuff out just by looking at your descriptions and looking at your tables, but it helps just to give it some examples. And what you would do is you would just you would enter for message, you would give an example of something that a user might ask, and then for response, you're giving an SQL query of what it's looking for. So if you wanted it to say list each banner ad along with the CTR, you can enter the SQL query that gets that information. You click on test because you want to make sure that your query is working and that it gives you exactly what you're looking for. Because if some of your training has errors in it, that's going to make your AI less likely to get accurate results. And finally, if you want, let's see, if you want it to appear in the list of examples that your members see, you can just select this box here that says show example, and then you give it a title, and then this will add it to the examples page. So I know this is a little bit technical. I know a lot of you probably aren't going to be um, may not even be using this. You might hire a developer if you really want to build your own AI, but you don't know SQL and you don't understand the database structure. You might hire a programmer to do this for you and things like that. But I just want to go over this because this is a very powerful feature that we're adding, just the ability to create an AI that does whatever you want it to do. Whether you want it to look up sales, whether you want it to be able to generate leaderboards, you can customize as many AIs as you want and have them here inside of your admin panel. And when you give it an example, the AI will be able to do a lot of different variations of that same question. So you don't have to enter every possible question that users will ask. In fact, if the user's asking a fairly straightforward question, it can probably answer that just by looking at the database structure. But this helps you for more complex things, like if you wanted to figure out who has the highest clicking accuracy, you could give it the SQL query that can do that. And then teaching it something like this, you could then use it to look up specific stuff like what is Robert Putty's clicking accuracy? What is Sonny Suggs' clicking accuracy? Just by giving it just a few examples, it will be able to answer a lot of variations of that same question. Now on this basic info, it also shows the memory usage of your AI. So when you give it more descriptions, select more columns, give it more training, so that does use memory, computer memory of your AI. So you can see on this basic info page, this just gives you a glance at how much AI you're using or how much memory you're using, how much is for your tables and descriptions, how much is for your training data, and how much is still available. So for the LFMTE AI, I can see that I still have 16% of my memory left. So my memory should be good. And then if you are getting closer to the limit, you might see a warning here. And in that case, you might just decide to, maybe you want to split it between multiple AIs. Let's say that you're developing an AI that can look at your sales and then another one that can look at your referrals. Now, there should be enough memory for the AI to handle both of those, but just as an example, if you are running low, you might think maybe I'll split that across two different AIs. Maybe I'll build one AI that specializes on looking at commissions, and then I'll build another AI that specializes on looking at referrals, things like that. So for our LFMTE AI, and probably for most of the AIs that we develop, we're going to enable creator mode. So this will be able to let you go back and you'll be able to see the training examples that we've provided, so you can get an idea of how it works. If you want to modify it, you can. So if, let's say, you want to use your AI more for looking up prize information rather than clicking accuracy, you could remove some of the examples about clicking accuracy if you're not planning on using it, and then you could add some more examples about prize information. But when you're developing an AI and you want to distribute it to your members, this is where you would go to export it into the file that your users would be uploading on their end. So you can check this box. You can decide whether or not you want your end users to have access to the creator mode. So you can check this. We're probably going to check this on all of our AIs. But if that's going to be up to you as a developer if you want to give your users access to that. And then you would just click this button to download the file, and that's it. That will give you an AI file that you can sell to your members. You could bundle with a plugin and things like that. So I know this is more technical than what everyone's going to use, but I just want to go over that because I think this is going to be a really powerful feature of our platform going forward. Giving people an easy step-by-step process, just 5 simple steps really, where they can build AIs that can handle a lot of different things. Okay, are there any questions, comments, or feedback about what I've gone over so far? I know I've gone over a lot of different information and shown a lot of different examples, but were there any questions, comments, or feedback so far? Most of the time, Clara, most of the work that's going to be doing is figuring out what what the user is asking for and then generating a response. That's what most of the time is when you're asking a question. It's not searching through the database doesn't necessarily take as much time as the other things. So that's yeah, so most of the time it's going to be looking at your question. It's going to be saying, okay, what parts of the database? It's going to look over the training data to see which examples are closer to what you're asking for. And it's just going to be calculating a lot of stuff like that. So the size of your database shouldn't matter as much as the other things. Okay, let me go back and right now it just updates HTML. I do want to get it to the point where it can update PHP. You know, I want to get it to the point where you know, right now I'm doing a lot of stuff manually getting well, we just did a whole bunch of updates to get everything compatible with PHP 7.4, and now we're already looking at PHP 8. So right now I'm just updating the plugins, I'm releasing plugin updates. I want to eventually get it to the point where I can just ask the AI to update all of my code and make my site compatible with PHP 8. And I want to eventually get to the point where the AI can do that, where it can go through all of my PHP files and update stuff like that. But for right now, it's just HTML. So it can update your HTML to more modern standards and things like that. Okay, Square Banners plugin. The Square Banners plugin, it should be working. We haven't updated it to the new format yet, so it does still have the old tables. So it does have some of the alignment issues that the sites, the banners, and the text ads pages had before we did the update in January. So that is something I'm still planning on updating. But as far as if it's not working, please send us a support ticket so we can see what's going on because it should be working. Yeah, it just needs to be updated for the new format. And yes, some of the prize pages and games need to be updated for HTTPS as well. That's another one of the things that we're working on. Okay, and yes, Clara, yep, I do have a list of those things as well. The next time that I do an update that focuses on LFMTE, those updates should be in there. Yeah, I have a list of things that I want to change on those pages. And then once I get those updates done, then I'll take that format and then I'll apply it across Square Banners, mini branders, and the other things as well. Yeah, that does take a while. I know it takes a while on Traffic Splash because that's one of our larger sites. I am going to be looking into ways to optimize that. So yeah, that is something I want to look at. Yeah, the database optimization. Okay. Any other questions, comments, or feedback? Okay, so I will explain a little bit about what we're going to be doing as far as pricing. Like I said, I was hoping that the update would be available in time for the meeting, but we just had some server issues and I didn't want to rush out anything and take a risk of there being a buggy update or anything like that. So I'm going to do some more testing later this evening and hopefully get the update out very soon. That includes this AI and the AI creator and the page editor. But this is going to be part of the membership on GeniuXs.com. And I know we went over it a little bit a few months ago when we released the email writer. So a lot of you probably already have accounts with GeniuX. Now that's been in beta testing for a while. We gave everyone 100 credits and we haven't charged anything for that yet. We are going to be making that part of the monthly subscription now, along with these new AI features. And we're going to have 3 different plans. We're going to have a plan that includes just the basic AI writer, as well as the automated mailings and GeniuX for those of you who haven't purchased GeniuX. and you're going to be getting the basic version of GeniuX included with the script. The automated mailings is going to be part of that basic plan for $9 a month. We're going to have a second level for $19 a month. That's going to include all of the benefits of the first one, but it's also going to include the different personalities for GeniuX. For example, you could write emails in an enthusiastic tone, a grumpy tone, a compassionate tone, things like that. So that's going to be in the higher level, and that one's also going to give you more credits per month, which for those first two levels is going to be for writing emails. And then finally, we're going to have our all-in-one bundle, and we're planning on pricing that at $29 a month, and that gives you everything in the first two packages, but it also includes all of the stuff that I showed you today. So the LFM AI, the page editor AI, all of that's going to be included with the $29.99. And with that, we're going to give you 500 credits a month. And credits can be used when you do a search, or if you ask the AI to write an email, or if you ask the AI to make an update to one of your templates. So you're going to be able to do up to 500 of those every month with that package. So I'm going to get all of that set up hopefully tonight or tomorrow, and I'll send out an email with all of the pricing information and a list of all the benefits and everything like that. But I just wanted to give you just an overview of how we're going to price everything. Yeah, I think 500 will be enough. What we are going to be looking at how owners use the AI, which features they're using the most, and we might just tweak things a little bit. But yeah, that'll give you 500. Yeah, I think as a starting point. Because to be honest, I'm expecting that our profit margin on this starting out could be quite small, because we are running the AI on top of other language models that can't run on a regular server. They're running on through a specialized API where we're actually paying for each request. So I think with the current pricing, the profit margin might be a little small going out. Now going forward, as the AI technology advances, I'm expecting the cost per request to go down, and then we'll be able to offer owners more flexibility and maybe more credits, more stuff like that. But I think this should be a good starting point. It's per request, Gary. So right now, and just starting out, no matter how complex your request is, and no matter how simple it is, each request is 100 credit, or one credit. 1 credit per request, whether you want it to add a video to your site, whether you want it to rewrite your sales page, whether you want it to modify the layout, wherever you want it to do, each of those things will only cost 1 credit. And we think that that would be that would be a lot simpler than what some of the other AI companies are doing, because there are, a lot of it is pricing per word, or per the amount of computing power that it takes to fulfill those requests, and we don't want to get
Just
into that.
can we
So
clarify that, Josh? Can we clarify that, because it's quite important, because you can make that's a per request, but you can have as many goes at getting it right. It's only when you press the "I accept this" button that costs you a credit.
no, it's per request. So that includes That includes any drafts or anything like that, even if they're discarded. You're paying for the AI to fulfill the request. That's what the
Okay.
cost of the credit is. And yes, follow-up. Each follow-up is a request as well. So you can see, and it has a reminder. So if I say, let's just say, how many credits does John Doe have? And this is just on my test site. It's just going to look up, you can see John Doe has 12.59 credits. And then you can see here at the bottom, it says the follow-up will cost 1 credit. You have 234 credits. So every time you make a request, you'll say right at the bottom how much it'll cost and how many you have in your GeniuXs account. And to answer, I saw Mick asked a question earlier, will unused credits roll over? And yes, some credits will roll over. There will be a cap. I'm thinking for the all-in-one bundle where you get 500 credits a month, it'll cap at 1,000. So you will keep getting, so if you, let's say you don't use, let's say you still have 100 credits left in your account at the end of the month. The next time that your subscription goes through, it'll add 500, but your other credits will roll over. So then you have 600 credits for the following month, but we'll cap at 1,000. So once you get to 1,000, it won't add any more credits until you use the ones that you have. And that's really just to protect us on our end. We don't want somebody to, save up 10,000 credits and they make 10,000 requests in one day and just overload the servers. So we think that the way that we've priced it right now it will give owners plenty of credits to experiment with the AI, to ask questions, to make updates, to get revisions, things like that. And then it will also roll over up to a cap, but just that way you don't have to worry. It's not the last day of the month and you don't have to worry about losing your credits. So I think that would be a good balance for everyone. Extra credits, not right away. I just want to get an idea, go at first on how many credits owners are using, what type of requests they're using, so we can get an idea of what our costs are going to be. And then once I get that idea, then I'll probably decide on how much we want to charge for extra credits. All right, are there any other questions, comments, or feedback? Is there anything I've missed? I know I've gone through a lot of information today. All right, thanks, Clara. Yeah, I think is very cool. I definitely think that there's a lot that it can do already, and then we're going to keep building on this. I think that the underlying AI technology is going to keep getting better and keep getting more powerful, and then we'll be able to add on top of that to give it more abilities and more things that it can do.